Well guys, I'm back again with this plane. The last time I left you, I had to attend to something, but here we are. Not quite in the same position as yesterday, or whenever this stream sees the light of day, but back in the Mount Cook Airlines, the beautiful Mount Cook Airlines Fokker Friendship 27. Going to do what was part of the Golden Triangle route, which is we started in Rotorua, my old hometown, then we did a direct flight to Christchurch, and now we're going to carry on to Queenstown. Looks like a stunning day, but we'll still do like I really enjoy it. Do some VOR flying, and we're going to be landing on runway. We'll see how it goes. It's very the weather seems quite pleasant in Queenstown, so we'll just see how it goes, eh? And yeah, I think maybe we'll do. It is like the wind's coming from the northeast, and it would be 05 that we use. But let's do 23, eh? That's a nice scenic flight through the mountain ranges for you guys, and we're going to do a very rare. 'Cause it's also great here too. Unfortunately, there's no like traffic, which is a shame. But yeah, we'll do this. We'll take off from this runway here, which they only use for the infamous Christchurch Northwesters, which I've experienced it once, and yeah, we went from Rotorua to Christchurch to Dunedin, and I remember leaving Rotorua middle of winter, and it was like, what was it? It was like 12 degrees, and then we came to Christchurch, and it was a full blowing northwester, and far out it felt tropical. I remember my dad saying, "Oh, this feels very unnaturally warm." It was like 25 degrees, and then carried on to Dunedin an hour later, and gosh, it was frigid. It was like the coldest day on their record. It only got up to 5 degrees. That's for New Zealand's standards. That's a cold day. But here we are. This is a really cool. I might just do a quick little walk around. This is a beautifully done airport that I have. I think it's NZA Simulations. They're an incredible bunch of people that do amazing, amazing work. A work of art. I mean, gosh, just having a having a simulator like this alone, like having this sort of level of detail is in itself an amazing privilege. This is I'd like to go here one day. This is a great place to have a few drinks and doing a bit of plane spotting while you're at it. Unfortunately, there's nothing here, which is a bit odd, but it is what it is. But yeah, it's a stunning airport. I like Christchurch. It's an example of what Auckland Airport should be like with the combined terminal Auckland Airport. It's a beautiful air. When it first did its last major revamp back in the late 90s, early thousands, like it was just such a incredible airport. It was definitely lived up to its reputation of being a great one of the definitely Australia's best airport, one of the best small large airports around. If you understand what I mean, but yeah, it had everything. It was for the size of the airport. It was a really still is a good airport, but man, it really needs a lot of love. And having that second runway, I can imagine would make. I mean, this New Zealand is the full stop, the end of the line for a lot of airliners, and I mean it's also our welcome it's our gateway into New Zealand, and yeah, New Zealand, when it comes to infrastructure projects, I mean, we don't have the budgets, but we certainly could do a lot more. And Auckland at the moment, mate, it is still a lovely airport. Enjoy going there. Unfortunately, they got rid of their my observation decks, man, are such highly underrated pieces of key parts of airports, man. Like, especially here in Christchurch and Auckland, they've completely glossed over that. For myself as a young kid and many other kids who they're nice planes, and used to go to the airport as a young kid. It was such a incredible moment going up to the viewing observation deck and seeing these, well, not this guy here, but the large 747s in action and seeing the amazing work that those guys on the ground do. Like, so much inspiration wanting to become a pilot now. Feels like we're just being shunted out. Like, Christchurch has got a good plane spotter scene, I think. Like, a lot of people were around the fences and whatnot, watch planes, but Auckland, they've got that viewing car park thing at the end of the runway, but it's not the same. You're not there in the action. You're just out there in the car, freezing cold. Or Auckland's quite a windy, rainy place at the best of times, and yeah. But anyway, we'll get back to this flight. So, as I said yesterday, make sure you click on this. Don't go up here and put it into the power mode. Otherwise, I found it. I've had issues with it, with the engines not starting. But yeah, here we are, and the beautiful, lovely, stunning cockpit of the Fokker Friendship F27, which is free, absolutely free. Apart from a donation, I think you can do a donation, but I love it. Absolutely love this aircraft. It has a few quirks and, I mean, what you expect for a freeware aircraft, but this is basically, I mean, it doesn't have the cabin, unfortunately, but hopefully in the future that will be sorted. But I mean, you don't really need the cabin. This is all you need, and this is where the business end is, you know. Absolutely love it. So, right, I'll set up for our flight to Queenstown, and then if I've got enough time, I might get the old BAE 146 in the Ansett livery and do a direct flight from Queenstown back to Rotorua just to complete the flight. So yeah, I'll just set this up and then we'll go for a wee fly, eh? I don't know if we'll go 22,000 feet, but we'll maybe start around 16 or 17. I don't know. I'm not a pilot, just a plane lover that loves planes. Really loves planes. Mate, it's loving planes like I do. It's not for everyone, but nah, aviation is cool, man. Highly recommend getting into aviation. I wish I will get into aviation. Such a cool industry, so much to do, learn. And yeah, right, I think that's us. The temperature is 14, which is roughly what it says. Well, it says, I don't know if that works, but yeah, anyway. Oh, we should just power on this aircraft, eh? We turn on these inverters, like I say, it's got a very comprehensive checklist thing, really worth it. Great little tool to have, and highly recommend, especially people like myself who are into planes but not pilots. It's definitely worth going through, and it's worth its weight in gold, and definitely gives you that well, it makes you feel like you're doing everything correctly, you know, you're following all the correct procedures and whatnot. Yeah, so I'll turn on the radios. Right, so we're going to be, what's the VOR again? Right, sometimes I find this chart a little bit annoying. It seems to be very slow, but I'll just go into my other navy graph and 15.3. And I'm going to set this one up for the Queenstown VOR, so it's all like preset. Don't know if they do that in real life, but I do, so. Yeah, I think we'll 13.6. I think we'll definitely do in the 23 arrival, I reckon, because I do love that flight, and it's really, I'll definitely do that one day with the Airbus, with the RMP approach. And I'll do that with the 737 too, because it's got a different quirk to it, which I've found a bit interesting, but now that I've managed it, it's got its moments, but completely different aircraft for Airbus than the 737. I love the 737. It feels more like us Kiwis who love the manual cars, although everything's becoming automatic these days, but it's great just to drive it, and I feel like the 737 is the closest you can get to that. Once again, I'm not a pilot, but it's got that, definitely has that I don't know, that vibe that you're flying it yourself, whereas the Airbus, it's almost like driving a manual automatic car, to be honest. It's very much plug and drive, really. That's my honest opinion. But both have, like, when you're a flight simulator like myself, I'm just going to set the fuel trims to 30. It's definitely got that. They definitely have their different purposes. Like 737, great fun. It's probably better for me, like when I'm doing. I haven't flown it much VOR kind of thing, but I feel like it's got a lot more situational awareness with just how you can set it up, whereas I get the feeling the Airbus definitely is set for more automation. But yeah, no, don't like Airbus when I just can't be bothered and I just want to do a quick flight. Just set it up. It's so easy to set up and you're away. Whereas 737 is, yeah, it feels like when you want to fly and you want to have a bit of fun, it's got that aspect that I really like. So I'm not too sure what I'm doing this flight, but you set these two speeds, but I guess between that it's not much difference between the rotation speed, is it? Check that. 13 and 7, so that's basically that. I don't know, maybe I'll fly it. Maybe I'll just do 18,000 feet, because it is a short flight in the grand scheme of things. I think it's one of those things pilots make it up as they go, really. They work out what's the best course of action, and you probably could get up to that altitude quite quickly, but hey, it's a nice short flight, a nice scenic flight too, so yeah, we'll just stick with 18,000 feet. Runway heading, going to take off from runway 29, so 29. I think that's basically us. Like, seriously, see all of these knobs and dials and stuff like that, but when you actually sit in this cockpit and you just like look at it for what it is, you really get to appreciate just how simple and easy these aircraft are. Like I say, 4 years ago, man, this would have not been for me, but now, man, it's very fun to fly. It's a very cool achievement to be able to fly something like this, even if it's on a game, you know. Like, still, man, it's Flight Simulator is a game, but it's still realistic at the same time, man. That's great. Right, let's get this girl fired up, eh? Love the sound, eh? Far out, man. For a freeware aircraft, man, this is oh, words cannot describe. This is A class, man. This is absolute gold, man. And I just love love the graphics and the detailing of this. I mean, there's a few different. It's definitely not PNG or just white material, man, but it's bloody thereabouts, man. It is really good. Right, now I can flip that to lock. Now we do the same for the port engine. I have to do this too. Turn on the generator for that engine that's running. This brings back so much memories for when I was a child at Rotorua Airport. The only thing here, like, you can't tell if the lights are on or not. That's definitely going, but no, man, it's. Oh, the nav indication lights, oh yeah, they are on. Sweet, so that's the girl powered up. Just got to put this into safe and put that to starboard, close that, turn that on, go to aircraft and then turn on the alternators. Do a bit of trim. Some other YouTubers put a bit of trim, nose up trim, and oh yeah, that's right. So basically set our takeoff fuel trim thingy-majig, and we're about this whole range. We put this on. We're basically sea level, and yeah, basically put it to 100%. About 15 degrees. I mean, it's daytime now, but when I'm flying it, but in real life, whilst I'm recording this, it's probably coming up to 4 o'clock in the morning in Christchurch, New Zealand. New Zealand doesn't have any time zones as such, so it's all. You can hear it powering up now with that fuel being. I'm guessing it's extra fuel being pumped into the system. Set flaps, and then taxi light. And away we go. Just listen to that. That's. I mean, I'm not a pilot, but every now and again you do silly things like forget the chocks or. So yeah, now we're going to depart from a beautiful Christchurch airport, which, in my honest opinion, Wellington is right up there too. It's got a beautiful viewing deck that you don't need to have a flight or a booking to be able to see it. But Christchurch airport, I mean, it's got 2 runways, man. It's the only airport in New Zealand that does, apart from Ohakea and Whanaupai, which are, of course, Air Force bases, but only airport in the country that has 2 active runways, which is, I mean, Auckland really needs to get that second runway built. I mean, it's not only is it great for future growth, it's also a great safety mechanism, you know, like if that runway gets damaged and Christchurch has fog, and then of course we're only down to Wellington and Ohakea and at a push Wellington, you don't have many options left, man. I can imagine being a pilot coming out here on your 747, if something goes wrong and everything goes wrong, the whites in your eyes definitely come out. Bit of panic. But I'm sure they've got enough fuel to limp on to Australia if need be. But no, it's always good to have lots of safety mechanisms in place, especially coming from a country like New Zealand who prides themselves on health and safety and whatnot. Right, we're going to line up for runway 29 and a westerly departure. You can see the wind side, it's probably thereabouts actually. I've got a bit of a crosswind, but I mean, we're talking about a couple of knots, so yeah. Now we just go full throttle. I should have set the I could actually still set the thing, but This should have been done. Right, let's focus on flying now. See, I don't really understand the speed of this, because I'm sure this runway is long enough for a Fokker. And I do believe, watching videos, they do raise their landing gear quite early on in the flight. Unfortunately, I'm having issues finding it with the landing gear, but here we go, taking off from runway 29, which is not an often used runway in regards to Christchurch Airport's operations, but nonetheless it's still quite cool to use. Departing out over the Christchurch, the famous Canterbury Plains and the various graded river systems that crisscross this beautiful and definitely for a North Islander such as myself, it's a bit of a foreign land, the old South Island, but still it's a beautiful place. Yeah, beautiful. I do like Christchurch. I think it's it is a nice, I mean, South Island, it's a nice part of the country. It's got such beautiful scenery, and it's got so many different things you can do and whatnot. I do like the beaches and the warmth of the North Island. We've also got our own little mountains too, as you saw, I think, when we flew over Ruapihu. But yeah. So I'm not too sure if that seems a bit too steep, but I am trying to pull it back just a bit. I'm not too sure what the algorithm is, but I do find if I engage the autopilot too soon, it does nosedive. I usually find once I'm at a reasonable altitude, I do find, I'm just going to pull this to the cruise configuration, put that into open, and then we didn't do this last time, but you put the prop sync on. And that's roughly the cruise setting. And like I said, like I'm not a pilot, and also too, in real life, this would be a two-man dream team, so we don't have that privilege of adjusting various knobs and dials and stuff. And this is for entertainment purposes too. Can't do this when you're flying in real life. But yeah, I'm going to turn on the autopilot now and just do my Fraser special of putting it up into warp speed. So see what I mean? It does this. I'll put the VOR on. It does that not often, but enough for it to be like, oh, what are you doing now? But it doesn't seem to do. It rectifies itself pretty quickly. I don't know what these ones do. I think they're like fuel boosters, but it doesn't have it in the checklist, but I've seen YouTube guys have that switched on, so I'll do the same. Right, in true 1980s fashion, we can turn off both of these. Don't do that at home, kids. Right, I'm going to do the old warp speed here, put it up to 4 times, and enjoy flying over this stunning Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 Christchurch Canterbury Plains graphics, man. Absolutely awesome. I love such a joy to still fly this simulator, man. Like I said, I will get that 2024 soon. There are a few things I like to do, and although the scenery is basically very much same, isn't it? From what I've seen on various YouTube videos. Alright, I can turn off the lights and then put it into standard, which is what are some units. I think it's 13, isn't it? It's either 13 or 12 point something or other, but that would do. So this is definitely quite a long, straight segment of flying. You know what, we could possibly go a little bit higher. Let's go a little bit higher. Dial up the cabin attitude to go to 20. Because we're going north to south, sort of east to west, I believe it's the even numbers that you need to be travelling at. Yeah, look at that. That's I definitely need to get the old helicopter out. I'm not a helicopter pilot, but weave up and through the valleys there and pretend to be either rescuing someone off the mountains or in New Zealand, what another common thing people do is go hunting deer and whatever in the mountains there, get a couple of rifles and a helicopter pilot and an unlimited amount of cash in your wallet, and then off you go. But yeah, look at all those graded river systems. It's really cool. The only thing that needs to be sorted out is like have some sort of graphic engines to simulate like the all the sediment that gets chucked out through the rest of this river system. You know, like I've flown this a couple of times and it's got the beautiful colorings of the different blues and the teals flowing down the coastline, and then you've got like where it converges with the deep sea. Apart from that, it's basically thereabouts. Oh, I better get ready to level off. Three, two, one. Level off there. And do its thing. It's usually a bit slow at doing that. And then what I'll do is watching some F27 videos, they seem to have this set back. Like I said, I think it's like a bit like a fuel conditioner sort of thing that they use to keep the fuel flow at a certain rate. I don't know if it does much in this setup, but yeah. Like I say, we are pretending to be pilots today, flying the F27, so we'll try and do what those pilots do. But yeah, what you're looking at is most of this is all dairy farming, intensive dairy farming. They usually put the cows in these long paddocks. Then they do what you call break feeding, so they open a section up, let the cows munch it down, then open another section up, and then they just go up and down. And I'm guessing they look like salt lakes. There are salt lakes up the top of the South Island. And then you've got these, as I said, these lovely, beautiful braided rivers that flow down from the glaciers up in the mountains there, which are unfortunately disappearing quite rapidly. But if you ever get to New Zealand and you like glaciers, definitely go to the glaciers on the west coast, because they are disappearing at quite a fast rate. And that's another place we need to go to. It's another little airport, Timaru. They get two 2-8 flights a day. Like I said earlier, New Zealand's got such a proud pedigree when it comes to aviation. I mean, all along here it's got decent roading and whatnot, but when you get up into the mountains here and all of these massive farms that need lots of fertilizer and crop dusting and spraying, New Zealand is a country very reliant on aviation for its various different industries that require it. I mean, further up, and along here, in this sort of basin here, there's lots of stone fruit trees and vineyards, and they quite often get helicopters fly low above the crops when there's frost, to prevent frost from damaging the buds, and yeah, lots of different things where aviation is so relevant and so key in our everyday today life. And even just this, like commuting, aviation is such an important part of our society, really. This is where we go through a little barren patch where we can't get any reception, but we just got to keep an eye out, and yeah, might as well tune this to the Christchurch, the Queenstown VOR. And I think pilots would just set like a diversion run. So for Queenstown, because it's situated in the valley, it's a nice, if there's ever a problem, they just fly down this valley here, then they just fly straight to Invercargill. And it's also got thanks to a lovely mayor called Tim Shebolt, colourful character, one of our longest serving local ministers, local body mayors, whatever you call them. He built what is one of the longest runways in New Zealand, Invercargill Airport, with the philosophy: we build an airport and a runway, they will come. But unfortunately, they didn't come, and sweet, we've got Queenstown on our radar. Yeah, he built this long runway, but it's actually used as a diversion for flights coming in from Christchurch, from Australia to Queenstown. If for example, the weather looks a bit iffy, they built that for that in mind, and they also built it that it's also used as the flights are a bit heavy, or the weather is a bit rough and they can't use full fuel. They sometimes, maybe once or twice a year, you get flights that leave Queenstown, fuel up in Invercargill, then carry on to Australia, because it's definitely a lot closer than Christchurch. And I think Dunedin is just a bit too far out, but I think, yeah, they either refuel here, or if weather's not that good, then they'll definitely go to Christchurch with the ILS runway. And yeah, so basically we want to be Slow it down a bit. We might do this VOR radio actually, just for fun. I'm not going to do a VOR because we do not have the capability, but it's I'm looking for a VOR DME, this one. So we're going to track this outbound radio, and then we're going to come around here, and then we're going to follow this approach down into Queenstown. So it was 27, wasn't it? So on fly down, we want to be at 8,500. I guess we could start our we can almost start our descent now. Actually, we'll probably, it's not, there is high terrain there, but that should get us above most of the terrain. So down she goes. So that's a 12 DME arc, so we'll do that. Stay 12 miles outside of the airport and do this nice little arc, and once we're 10 miles out, we'll start our, what is it? Yeah, sort of circling these sort of figures for our feet per minute descent. We are sort of high. Oh, we better change our cabin pressure so we don't. I love the sound of these engines. It's the guy who's done this, man. He's done a really good job. Like, it gives you sort of inspiration. Like, I mean, not everyone can make a plane on Flight Simulator, but it certainly does. I think that's our minimum. So I think I mean, we won't be getting anywhere near that by the looks of it, but at least we kind of set it. Set our attitude by pushing the magic D button. And yeah, this would be actually, I think the cloud layer is still quite relatively high, but it's going to give us a nice reason to do a VOR approach. We're getting quite close to our, see, we're still quite high above the mountains there, so that's pretty decent. Then we want to set this baby up so it's roughly 90 degrees from where we're pointing, give or take. And then we might as well level out very, very, very soon. Yeah, level out now. Oh, turn on our landing lights, so we might as well get our taxi lights on too. We can final cigarette buzz. And then we want to set this up to 42. That's about 42. Then when we get to that waypoint, that's when we want to descend to. Oh, I thought we needed to descend, no, it must be that one there where we descend. 7,100 feet is our next. Alright, so we'll set this next one up to 60, and that's where we drop down to 71. So what was it again? 60. And yeah, the key of doing this arc is just like keeping these little. We might make this easier. We'll set this. We can't turn it off, but we'll set it to. Just like it's all same. Yeah, the key to these arcs is just keeping it within the posted distance. You know, this is 12,000 feet, so you want to keep it thereabouts, and keep this relative to where the like if you want to go back towards the arc to cut it out, if you're getting too far, you want that these needles to be to point within the 90 degrees. If you're too far on, then you vice versa, you want to have these needles outside of this little pie, I guess you could call it. So we're now past that restriction. Now we want to set it to 69, which will probably. And then we'll set it to our final approach was 259. Yeah, stunning approach. Really cool place to fly. Sort of overshot the final approach, but we do have plenty of room to bring it back in and just ease off the speed, and we'll definitely do this now. We'll set this plane up for basically final for landing. Yeah, before you land, you want to set this to the recommended. I think it's basically set to your takeoff thereabouts. Yeah, we can start our descent. I think we'll set it to 600 feet per minute, I reckon. So yeah, sort of 600, 700, fluctuate between those. And this is why Queenstown is considered one of the most beautiful airports in the world to land in. I think when you fly the R&D approach, you're more lower down, but I mean, this is not precision flying, but it's still. You sort of just use these like vapors to sort of gauge where you should be. We're a little bit, we're almost on profile actually. By the time we get to 7 nautical miles, we should be at 5,900 feet, and we're almost doing that. I mean, this is all bit of both, bit of precision and skill and guesswork, really. And I think you want to be quite slowly coming into this. And we're set our landing speed, which is basically 100. Right, we can basically start our visual approach now. We can basically, so once we get up to this hill, the VOR sort of sits on this hill, I think, and then yeah, we can basically start our, basically take control of the old girl and hand fly it ourselves. But yeah, we're now flying over, this is the part of the shot over the river. This is where they do the jet boats through here. If you've been to Queenstown and you've done the jet boats, you would know exactly what I'm talking about. You go flipping fast through these hairpins and kissing the sides of the edges of the river. Really cool to do. I haven't done it, need to do it, but yeah, it sounds like a lot of fun. And then over here for you lot that likes to do gold mining, that's Arrowtown. That's really good for, apparently, if you're lucky, you might find some gold nuggets in the river there when you're doing the panning for gold. Done it once, and it's, to be honest, it's a bit of a waste of time, but you got to be in it to win it, I guess. But yeah, this is the stunning and beautiful Queenstown. Almost feels like you're not in New Zealand when you come here. It's a very overly touristy, but very much, especially in the winter time, it feels like you're in a European winter wonderland, or even in somewhere in the States. It's definitely got that vibe, because you hardly hear any Kiwi accents in this part of New Zealand, but very expensive too. It's up there with Auckland. Property prices are through the roof here, but no, it's a beautiful part of the country. Highly recommend anyone who loves the outdoors and nature and loves aviation too, and wants to fly into one of the world's most beautiful and challenging approaches. Definitely worth it. And I just want to ease off a bit high, but great thing about these planes is they do drop off speed. So here we are, lining up for runway 23 into Christchurch, into Queenstown, flying over the shot over the river, and you can see how Queenstown is quite a technically demanding airport, and it's got a lovely little drop off, as you can see. Fortunately, no planes have ended up overshooting this runway, but yeah, you definitely need to be on your game coming into land here. Definitely not for the faint-hearted. I love the sound of the brakes too. That. Oh, there is a Jetstar there. I mean, this is early in the morning in New Zealand, and there are restrictions on times you can fly, but and this is us officially arrived into beautiful Queenstown. We'll park her up, and I've still got enough time. I'll do a quickly return direct flight to Rotorua, flying the BAE 146. And these aircraft, they are ATR flies into Queenstown, and when they fly into here, they predominantly use these two. Sometimes they use this one over here, but yeah, predominantly they use this. I haven't parked in this one. I'm going to park in this one for a change. I usually park in parking bay 1, but we'll go for 1A this time, just for a bit of change. And in real life, you'd have someone guiding you in, but we don't have that luxury here, so today we are the ground crew, the baggage handlers and the marshallers. I love doing that. I love parking in these little bays like this. It's got that, definitely has that small airport vibe about it. And yeah, remember, click on this first, otherwise if you switch it on through this switch here, it doesn't really agree with a few different things. And then we shut off the fuel, and that is us into Queenstown. We'll just wait for the plane to spool down. The other great thing about this plane I love the most is I love how the length of time it takes for these propellers to spool down. That reminds me a lot of being a kid. Like, it just felt like forever that these props would slow down and come to a stop. And because we are in the 1990s, we can open up these doors, because back then health and safety was use your common sense. I mean, even at that speed, man, I remember ground crew rolling on up and opening up the doors, and almost virtually at that speed they'd use their hands just to slow it down a bit faster. I mean, maybe a little bit slower, but yeah, man, thereabouts, man. They definitely knew their stuff, you know. Not like today, where you have to wait for that little red light to extinguish before you can go anywhere near it, just in case you get decapitated. But mate, right, that's us into Queenstown. Next up, I'll jump into the BAE, and then we'll do a return flight back up to my hometown of Rotorua.